Well, Blake Lively has been handed her first big loss in her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, and frankly, it is entirely her own fault, or more precisely, the fault of her legal team.
Some of those text messages fine.
Did you break out a friend?
You think I made it harder?
Do you think I want to make you true? I don't know, do you?
Brace yourselves, because Hollywood darling Blake Lively is at the center of a shocking scandal that no one saw coming. Reports are flooding in that the actress appeared visibly distressed in court as new witnesses came forward, revealing startling allegations.
New video released by lawyers for actor Justin Baldoni showed unedited footage from the filming of It Ends With Us.
And Blake Lively's witnesses are rumored to be scared to testify. They're saying they're afraid that the public is going to bully them, at least that coming from Blake Lively's camp. Others say that they are being blackmailed into testifying by Blake Lively.
Naked truths aren't always pretty.
But Blake Lively's out for truth in her It Ends With Us lawsuit. So much so, the actress opted an ex-CIA agent to her legal team.
We love our job and we love our work. We take it very, very seriously.
Oh, it's serious. Blake enlisting Nick Shapiro, the former deputy chief of staff turned PR powerhouse. This after getting dealt a major blow in a court fight with Justin Baldoni.
What's really going on? Is Blake Lively genuinely mixed up in something shady? Or is she the victim of a carefully planned attack?
So Blake Lively filed a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department and then a complaint in federal court in New York. Justin Baldoni says Blake Lively was the root of the problems, that she wanted to take over control of the production, and she intentionally made false allegations, hoping she could punch him out of his own movie. And it worked, according to Baldoni. He said Blake Lively is the one who orchestrated the smear campaign against him and not the other way around. Baldoni sued Blake Lively in federal court in New York, and the two cases, Blake Lively's case against Justin Baldoni, Justin Baldoni's case against Blake Lively, have been consolidated into one case. And there are lots of defendants, lots of plaintiffs, lots of counterclaim plaintiffs and defendants.
Blake Lively had changed some stuff up in her amended complaint. Now she's describing that dancing scene very differently than she did in her first complaint. There was a post on legal bites who noticed, and they made kind of a big deal about it.
Drama. Actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni has become entangled in the situation, sparking questions about whether he has insider knowledge, or if his own ties to Hollywood's power dynamics have unexpectedly drawn him into the mix.
Okay, so I was able to read the amended complaint, which, by the way, it's very abnormal. It's almost 180 pages, 400 and some odd paragraphs. Complaints are not normally that long, but this one has to be for public consumption. And I boiled it down to 4 main points. So if you were to believe her allegations, they kind of, everything she says kind of fits into one of these 4 points in my mind. So number 1, both Baldoni and Heath are creeps, and so there's a lot of allegations about how just creepy they are, per her complaint. Number 2, the SH has nothing to do with taking over the movie, even though she doesn't deny that she took over the movie. Of course, it'd be probably impossible to do that, but she's trying to separate out the SH from the movie takeover. Number 3, we are all dupes. So you're a sucker, we're suckers. Everybody on the internet that's talking about this are suckers because we've all been sucked in by the astroturf, which I didn't even know what that term meant until the amended complaint. So apparently that's when people leave fake comments from fake accounts. I think that was in the original complaint too. Yeah. So anyway, that number 3 is we're all dupes. And number 4, the smear campaign designed by Baldoni's team was intended to derail the SH claims that Lively brought later in time, which seems a little odd to me because her bad press came in early August, and yet the complaint to the CRD didn't happen until December 20th. But her claim is that this whole elaborate scheme to smear her came about because Baldoni knew that she was going to be filing this complaint.
Get ready for a deep dive into the latest twists in the courtroom drama and what it could mean for Blake Justin, and Hollywood as a whole. Brace yourself, because things are about to get messy.
And it's Blake and Isabella Ferrer. Now their names are kind of leaked. It was in a Hollywood Reporter article that I saw this morning that their names were there. Sources are claiming it's them. So now, as I noticed as well, Jenny Blake is getting a lot of heat on Instagram. I saw that Isabella Ferrer closed the comment section.
This was first in the form of a CRD, a Civil Rights Department complaint, before it matured into an actual federal lawsuit.
Before we break down Blake's tense courtroom moment, let's rewind a little.
And so the more time we got to spend with Blake Lively, the less we liked her. The more her promotional efforts for a film about domestic violence felt off. She was full of giggles and laughter and wanted to promote her liquor brand. Nothing says domestic violence like a bottle of tequila. What? So it felt weird, and she started to get hit by some of the media for being insensitive. Then this one reporter re-upped a video in which she interviewed a then 8-month pregnant Blake, and kicked off the interview as you would do as a journalist. There's something obviously different about somebody physically by saying, "Oh, you have such a cute baby bump." And Blake was taken aback, even though it was obvious, and said, "Oh, so do you." The reporter was now pregnant. It was a nasty jibe at her for no reason.
Before we dive into Blake's intense courtroom moment, let's take a step back and rewind for a moment.
Accused him of making very inappropriate comments, very inappropriate actions against her, all sorts of things. Like I said, the world was shocked. Everyone was buzzing about it. So many people jumped to conclusions based on that lawsuit alone. I'll be honest, now Blake Lively is not the most popular person in many groups throughout popular culture, and it's just some of us have history of lives or not just of exchanges that have been publicly
Sources familiar with the case indicate that this lawsuit could have major repercussions for both Blake and the entertainment industry at large.
On February 18th, Blake Lively's legal team filed an amended complaint against Baldoni and the other Wayfair parties. She makes a number of changes, including adding some parties and some causes of action, and she changes what she alleges about some of the events that occurred on.
While the exact charges remain under wraps, leaks suggest accusations of financial misconduct, covert business dealings, and potential connections to high-stakes money laundering. Wait, what? Blake Lively, known for red carpets, glamorous designer gowns, and iconic movie roles, is now being tied to financial crimes. That's a plot twist no one saw coming in February.
We knew this was going to happen. The timing of it is a different question. The timing of this is something else, because we knew from Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, that they were planning on launching a website that would list more text messages and purported evidence in this ongoing legal feud between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Of course, after Lively filed her lawsuit against Baldoni and his production company and others, including a PR specialist and crisis management expert, Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, said that they would release every single text message between Baldoni and Lively, and that they would launch a website including all the correspondence, and it appears they did just that. On Saturday, February 1st, a website was launched, www.thelawsuitinfo.com, and it contains two giant PDF files. So one is an amended complaint in this case from Baldoni. It is 224 pages, longer than the original 179-page complaint.
Usually one side will ask for whatever they can, but there won't be pushback.
Pushback handed down by a judge last week. In docs obtained by ET, Blake's subpoena for Justin's phone records going back 2 years was called overly intrusive, limiting the window to their time together behind the scenes.
Now here's where things take a turn for the unexpected. Justin Baldoni's name has surfaced in connection to the case.
I want it, don't give it to me.
Definitely, each party wants to get as much information as possible and make the process as burdensome as possible.
for the other side. Any piece of evidence can certainly aid Blake Lively's claims, but not everything is relevant, and not everything is evidence. So 2.5 years of innocuous text messages do not seem to support her underlying claims, but some of those text messages might.
She claims that Baldoni and others engaged in misconduct on set, including sexual harassment, whether that be allegedly improvising intimate scenes, allegedly fat-shaming her, allegedly inappropriately discussing support, allegedly violating protocols in place for scenes, and there's a lot. And then she claims, when she voiced these concerns, she alleges that Baldoni and his team devised a smear campaign against her, using the press and digital manipulation to turn public sentiment against him, both online and in the media. So she sued him, his production company, Wayfarer Studios, as I mentioned, his PR rep, a crisis management specialist, expert, Wayfarer.
Here's where it gets even wilder. The case had been moving along quietly until a few new witnesses came forward with what's being described as potentially explosive evidence that could flip everything on its head.
So he optioned this book called It Ends With Us, and it's about domestic violence. And he managed to get Blake Lively to star in his movie, across from him. He played the abusive guy and she played the woman. And this is the thrill of a lifetime for this guy. You know, he had done another TV project, but nobody knows who he is. So he gets Blake Lively. She's married to Ryan Reynolds. These are Hollywood A-listers. He's going to put him on the map. And she agrees to be his female co-star. Great, they're off to the races. Well, shortly into production, Blake Lively is very dissatisfied with virtually everything around her and decides to allege that Justin Baldoni, forgive me, very feminine, evolved, modern feminist man bun kind of guy, is like this virulent harasser who can't stop harassing one of the biggest stars in Hollywood in front of everybody else. I've got questions. I'm not sure why he would do that, whether he'd have the guts to do that, or whether the man bun is the most likely harasser in general.
You know, I think every day Blake Lively is not wanting to be Blake Lively. Like, I think she even wants to back out of this because it's become so cringy.
Now, here's where things take an unexpected turn. Justin Baldoni's name has surfaced in connection to the case.
That Justin's team released this raw, unedited video of the dancing scene. It was actually B-roll that they used in the movie, where, you know, they weren't using their audio. It was just to show them in this cozy dance scene. There was some arguing between them about what's the best way to shoot it, and
how they look.
So some fans have noticed that there are a lot of camera angles there that look very familiar, and that Blake Lively would certainly know.
As Justin Baldoni did for her, Blake Lively recently, just last week, filed a first submitted complaint. This was highly anticipated since her lawyers recently told the court that they were planning to amend their complaint to add parties and claims because of, quote, new facts and claims that they learned since filing their original complaint. There are actually some claims that Lively has made that Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties might need to be concerned about. Lively's strongest claims in her lawsuit are quite possibly the retaliation claim and the failure to investigate claim. Of course, as is the case with every lawsuit out there, it comes down to what the evidence actually shows, but based on her allegations, looks to me like these are likely her strongest ones at the moment. Part of that has to do with just how easy or difficult these various claims are.
For those who aren't familiar, Justin Baldoni isn't just an actor. He's also a filmmaker, producer, and a passionate advocate for creating a more ethical Hollywood. He's been outspoken about the industry's systemic issues, pushing for change and greater accountability.
So she says he's been harassing her, and they bring in some team, and he says, whatever you want, I will do it or not do it, you tell me. So they go forward. Well, we move forward in the story, and she's got to go do PR for the film. She goes out this past summer, and she had about 2 minutes of bad PR. The problem for Blake Lively, in my opinion, is that she does not improve upon acquaintance.